And we are live. All you hockey people out there, we could finally get off Hockey Hibernation because hockey season starts today. I'm joined here by my guest. Why don't you go introduce yourself?
Uh, Hi guys, it's Ruselmi Bitch on iFunny.
One of my dearest friends. I've been looking forward to having him on for quite a while and couldn't think of anyone better to have on. No offense to everyone else out there. So let's just dive into it. There's not a lot that's happened on so far, so let's just talk at the start of the season. We've had a bit of preseason, so we can kind of see how teams are being right now. But there's still a long road to go, just being game one, week one. So let's talk about some predictions, such as like trophies, championships, and whatever. So first of all, I think that yet again a Western Conference team is going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I'd really hope it's not the consistent Kings or Blackhawks. I'd really hope it's the Dallas Stars. Though that might be unlikely. What do you think?
I'm not really sure, but I'm probably gonna have to say the Ducks. As much as I hate them, they are probably they're easily the best team in Western, next to the Blackhawks. But since the Blackhawks lost a whole bunch of guys during the off season, then maybe the Ducks have the better chance this time around.
Yeah, they definitely got good kind of back to back with Gibson and Anderson. Getting trading for Hagelin. I mean, I hate the Rangers, but I guess he's probably one of their best players, and just trading Edom. Well, I really don't even know for him. I think that's really good. Um, they've got an out. They've got an outstanding captain in Getzlov. They have one of the best players right now in Corey Perry, and they've got great defense in Fowler. I think they're definitely going to win the West again. I think it's just the only thing really holding them back is just not being able to get to the Stanley Cup final, that hump. I don't know if they could cross it yet. I know they're gonna be more experienced from last year, but I don't know if they could do it.
Oh well, it's just what happens when you suck.
Yeah. I definitely think the Stars won't get a wild card spot. I think they'll do a little bit better than that.
Yeah, but if Kari Lettinen, I will say he's like one of the more underrated players in the league right now. I mean, he doesn't really get credit where it's due. And sometimes I will say this, a lot of the games last year that Kari Lettinen was starting in, that was all Kari. I'll be completely honest with you. Like when Kari's game was on, the defense was playing like shit and the offense wasn't being productive at all. And that's why we lost a bunch of games. And another thing that held us back from the playoffs last year was the goalie situation with Lindback and then Enroth and then that I don't remember his name, but he was from the Texas Stars and we released him this offseason.
I th- yeah, that definitely was the biggest thing. I mean, one of the first people to admit that they did bad was Kerry Lennon, but you can't give the guy all the blame. Like you're saying, like we had either inexperienced non-back checking or just too much offensive defenseman like Trevor Daley, who I'm kind of glad we got rid of.
Yeah, watching Daily, it almost felt like there were four forwards out there instead of three. And you'd
Which is
only see like one guy at the blue line.
which honestly is only really good on the power play. But even then, we weren't that good at it.
True.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous how this Niemi Landon thing's going to work because a few years ago there was the whole Brodeur Schneider thing, and I think that's the best comparison for a 1 and 1A goalie. From what happened to that was with Brodeur they got more goals, but he let in more. Schneider had more saves, but they wouldn't score for him. Do you think something like that could possibly happen? Like, do you think they trust letting in more and might be more productive with him?
I feel like Niami is probably going to be the one to where the offense goes all out, and then Lettinen, as I said last year, like the offense wasn't productive at all. So I would say Niami probably would do better.
We definitely added veteran presence. I think that was one of the biggest things we were lacking. I mean, we've got a total of 6 cups experience in this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, Sharp, yeah, he's like near his mid-30s, but he brings a lot of veteran presence. I mean, there's really no guy who can say, I have 3 Stanley Cups and I'm still relatively young and still have a lot left to teach people. And then Oduya just, I think people undervalue stay-at-home defensemen a lot. Because people look like, oh, he only has 7 goals. That's shitty. No, he backchecks, he stayed behind, he blocks shots. That's what you need in defensemen.
Yeah,
I know it's a high-scoring game, but you want to keep the other team low scoring.
Yeah, like Oduya and Trevor Daley are like complete opposites of each other. You know?
Maybe Dale will work out for Chicago.
Well, they do have
I thought it was a steal.
They have a top 3 defense, I would say.
I think it was a steal. And then giving up Garbett, who honestly didn't put up the numbers.
Yeah, and he's old too, I think. He's like 30, I believe.
Yeah, for that defensive prospect, Stephen Johns, who I know we sent down, but he's going to be very good for us in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like one of the highest rated defensive prospects. Hey, if No likes him, I'll like him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first day, so there's really not much to report about other than that. Trophies, I think Price is probably going to win the Vezina again.
Oh, definitely.
He carries that whole team. I think he's better than Lundqvist. He just hasn't been in the league long enough to get that same prestige as he has.
Yeah.
He's gone to the conference final at a much younger age too, even though he's only in 1 game.
We didn't really talk about Eastern Conference predictions. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Who I think is going to win the Metro, I think that Tampa's going to do it again, honestly.
Tampa's in Atlantic, aren't they?
No, Metro. Oh, they switched divisions around. I still get that confused. Metropolitan. My apologies. I know I sound like such a freaking idiot now. The Metropolitan, I think it would either be the Penguins or the Capitals.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Rangers, I think they lost too much without gaining enough. Blue Jackets, getting Saad makes them good, but it doesn't make them the best.
Losing Cam Talbot was a bad idea.
Trading Hagelin was a bad idea.
I mean, they got Rantna, is that his name? I don't know.
Ranta's the 3rd string from Chicago.
Well, I mean, he's good, but he's not great, is the thing.
No. Yeah, Blue Jackets got Saad. I mean, that's good. I bet they'll get in a plus, but they're not going to win the division, even if they do stay healthy. But they'll be dangerous. But that's 2 different. That's 2 different things. Devils, they got younger. That's good. New management, new coaching. Pretty much a completely different team, but not enough scoring to do much. Though I think we will be dangerous in a few years. We just got to get draft picks right. Like, I think Zach is the first of many good we could get.
Mm-hmm.
Same for the other division, the Atlantic division. I think it's definitely going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, They've got the best line probably in the whole division with the triplets line. They've got a solid defender in Ben Bishop. They've got great defense in Victor Hedman. Montreal, they probably get the best goaltending in the league, but they don't have great scoring. Their defense is good, but not the best. Boston Bruins, they got rid of a lot of their defensemen.
Yeah, they lost too much.
They got rid of their enforcement too.
Yeah, like the only notable names on that team is like Bergeron and Marchand at that point.
I mean, Tuukka Raski's still consistent enough, but Ottawa Senators, I think their Cinderella story is going to be over and not make the playoffs this year. Toronto Maple Leafs, of course, we know they're going to be a bottom 5 team again. What else am I missing? Oh, Panthers. Maybe they'll squeeze in. Maybe. Detroit, I do think maybe they're going to cut a little bit closer this year, but getting Mike Green definitely helps. Definitely. They just got to get healthy. I mean, Datsyuk's out, Helm's out. I think DeKaiser's out. Howard's struggling.
I heard Howard lost the starting job.
To Mrazek? That's good for me. I got him on my fantasy team. I mean, we saw how he did against Tampa Bay in the first round. Went to Game 7. I think he had a shutout, right?
I don't remember.
I think he's good, and he's going to definitely push Howard away. Selke, going back to trophies, for the Selke trophy, I don't want to see Bergeron get again. And like I know you were saying, I think he's one of the most overrated, underrated.
Yeah. I mean, kind of underrated when it comes to defensive style of play sometimes. But, I mean, and then overrated kind of just as a player in general. Like, I mean, people praise him like he's a fucking god of some sorts when
he's not.
He's not. And this is why I say he probably shouldn't be on the first line, is what I'm saying. It's because, like, that's an offensive line. You put your defensive players in the back.
Yeah, put him in the second or third line.
Yeah, that's what I would say, but not saying he's, like, not productive at all. Oh, definitely not. But
I'm not saying he didn't deserve those trophies, but I mean, come on. You can't keep brown nosing him. Who do you think would win a Selke this year?
Not really sure.
Trying to think of runner-ups in years past.
There's Taze. There's Kopitar. That's all I know.
Why is Backstrom ringing a bell? Oh, that's kind of hard to judge. Like, he's been in such a spotlight for a few years. Who really could challenge him for it? If you guys keep wondering why I keep looking, I have like notes here for what I'm going to be talking about. I don't memorize this. I'm not that good. Art Ross, I think this might be John Tavares' year.
Yeah, if he doesn't like get screwed at the last minute or last 3 seconds.
Oh man, a few things that made me scream more joy than that. I think Stanley Cups probably was the only other time. I had this Islander roommate last year, and he was the biggest dick in the world. And of course, you all know this was the start Ralph's last game as a Stars announcer, and he was saying, "Oh, Jamie Benn's only 3 points behind," and my roommate called him a effing retard was like, no, he's actually 4 points behind. It's like, no, Bennett scored. Like, aren't you following this? Like, he's not. It's fucking stupid. And, like, just going off saying how Ben's a bad player, and it's just sheer luck that he got these many points. And then it's just like, then like another goal, 2 points behind, then another goal, 1 point behind, then another tied it, and then with 2 seconds left, getting that assist, I fucking lost it in joy. I won't say what I said to him, but it was very colorful.
I think what added insult to injury on that was the fact that Sagan wasn't playing that game.
Yeah, that's true.
So he got a good chunk of his points without Sagan too.
Which shows you how good a player he is. He doesn't need another all-star to be good.
Yeah, he's like Tays, to where you can kind of like carry the team on his own.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Kane is found guilty. There hasn't been much on that front. I don't know why it's being delayed. I think they're working out a settlement between the victim and the Kane. I think she's guilty, just trying to get money.
Yeah, if the victim's lawyer backed out of this, then she's definitely
lawyer
lost.
The victim's lawyer backed out. The victim's mother tampered with evidence. I mean, all that points to guilty.
Yeah.
Jennings Trophy, that's probably going to go to Carey Price and whatever the backup is this year.
Hold up, let me look at the awards real quick. I don't remember them all.
I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head. Oh, we got one viewer.
Oh boy.
I wonder who it is.
Hart Memorial.
What do you got to do for that?
Most valuable player.
That's a toughie.
I don't know. If Sagan plays a whole 82 games, he's probably got a chance.
I think it'd have to be a game changer person. Like a Dubnyk of last year. I think that's someone who saves the season. So
Jack Eichel.
yeah, possibly. I would say Eichel or McDavid. Go into the next thing, Calder Trophy. I think Eichel's gonna get it.
Yeah, I think Eichel as well. Simply because Connor McDavid plays for the Oilers.
And also simply because Eichel played in the NCAA with kids past 20 years old, and McDavid plays with 18 and 19-year-olds. So Eichel's play with men a little bit more.
James Norris, best defenseman. I say Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, I'd say Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, either him or Duncan
What do you think
Keith,
would be
possibly. Really depends.
On a Stars level for that best defenseman?
Klingberg, easily.
Yeah. God,
Golgowski comes close, but
I'm glad he got the A, though.
Yeah.
Golgowski.
The Masterdome or Masterton.
Yeah, the
Sportsmanship.
Trying to think who had a major injury this year and come back from that. I've always got to say Yager because he's 40. He's going to be 44 and still playing. I mean, that's good. But if Dupuis comes back good and has a strong season, maybe him.
Yeah, you gotta wait until something happens during the season. And if something doesn't, then well, it's probably Yager for sure.
I thought Tutu should have gotten it last year.
Was it Letang that got the stroke last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But
probably deserved it too.
yeah, it's friggin' Dubnyk, just like because he was on bad teams and he'll go the Wild too this season. Like a guy who
He's got one of the best defenses when he plays for Minnesota, so
yeah,
it makes no
exactly.
sense.
You have a guy who had a stroke, career almost ended, comes back, has a pretty strong season, and then you got Tutu who dealt with drugs and alcohol for years, and then like just coming from a very suicidal family, he lost his brother to suicide, and like just persevering over that, getting clean, and coming back, and have a pretty successful season with the Devils.
And then there was Scott Darling, who came over alcoholism.
I thought it was a little much giving Dubnyk the trophy.
If Rich Peverley didn't retire, I would say give it to him. If he played a game. But,
Yeah. I know it's probably the right decision, but I just feel bad. Like he didn't get more time with us playing at least.
Yeah. Well, at least he'll always be with the Stars, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, probably by next episode we'll know a lot more because the season's starting. While this is filming, there's definitely games going on. The Blackhawks, Rangers, the Leafs, Canadians. Currently, the scores is 2-1 Montreal and 1-0 Rangers. That is probably not going to be relevant at all when you guys watch this, but
yeah. King Clancy. Leadership.
I would have to give nominations for that. I couldn't pick just one.
If we make it to the playoffs, Jamie Benn could be a likely candidate.
Jamie Benn, Jonathan Toews is always one.
You know. Rocket Richard, that's probably obvious, you know.
Yeah, Ovechkin. Did we say the Lady Bing?
I don't think we did.
I don't know what you do for that.
It's like the same as Masterton. Or Masterton.
Then put whoever doesn't win Masterton for that. So in humorous stuff, Yager's deciding to grow his mullet back.
Oh, yes.
None of us in our lifetimes, especially people on iPhone, have been privileged enough to see this Yager mullet.
Yeah. Oh, Toronto scored.
It's tied.
It's 2-1 Montreal.
No, I just said 2-1.
Oh. Oops.
Nah, whatever.
I thought you said 2-0. Well, New York has scored. So
Shit.
it's 1-0
Wait,
New York.
I have a few people on my fantasy team.
Van Riemsdyk.
Oh, it went from 1-1 to 2-1.
And then it went back to 1-1 for me.
Oh yeah,
they call it back.
So as probably a lot of you heard, there's now a thing, Coach's Challenge. This is very prominent in baseball and a lot of other sports. You only get one, and it works takes away a timeout. I'm glad it's only one, because very few things slow down sports as much as a challenge from the coach or a field manager or whatever. It's like a 5-10 minutes debating over just picture, photo finish thing. And like speed's the biggest thing we got over everything else. There's rarely any stop and set up in. I don't know. I think it'll really be used for like if there's goaltender interference that's not called.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot last year.
That would have helped in many years.
Detroit Red Wings.
Cool. So was it Jets too that did that to us? Like
no, Detroit did it.
there was,
And then they tied it and went into OT and they scored like what 30 seconds in.
I remember that night. That pissed me off beyond belief. And if you Devils fans knows when Verdor a few years ago was shoved at like .01 left in the third overtime and no .01 in the third, and Carolina scored and eliminated us from playoffs. And then last year against Winnipeg, I forget the guy's name, but he used his stick and pushed Carey's glove to the side, and they scored on that.
I don't remember that.
Well, definitely the Detroit one was the worst.
I was probably working that day. Who knows?
All our teams have an example of where there's clear interference and that it wasn't called. So being able to challenge something like that, I like, but I hope it's not almost all the time.
Yeah. Like this would have helped in that like Anaheim and Calgary playoff game to where the puck crossed the line, but the refs didn't call it, which was total bullshit. But they didn't like Calgary score like just a few seconds after that?
Yeah, they scored with less than a minute. So like it doesn't fully matter. Well, if it was like a team like that happened to try to tie it, it didn't count, and then they tied it and then won, then it's no big deal. But if you lose because that was not calls or not able to be reviewed,
yeah,
just think how different things would be.
Happened too much to Dallas. Just some bullshit plays, and then all of a sudden you go into OT and you lose like 30 seconds in.
Well, I think we're going to be one of the winners of 3-on-3 this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I definitely do. You put Klingberg, Seguin, and Ben if you're going to put a defenseman out there.
I mean, and also if you use Ben and Seguin, you don't have to play very deep, so you can like play at the blue line and then go for a shot because they're like two of the best snipers in the league. So like they enter the face-off circle, take a shot, and then say the other team gets the puck back, they can go back to the neutral zone and probably play the body.
Yeah, they're also really fast too, so they can probably get it back. I can't really think of anyone that could maybe be better. I mean, we'll see. We'll find out like what combinations work 3-on-3 that maybe we never saw before. I mean, for the Devils example, they've been in 3-on-3s and they won all of them. And we're not a good overtime team before.
Yeah, we're not the best either.
Well, that's pretty much going on in the hockey world right now. For you out there, I definitely want to look to do this more often, maybe twice a week, especially with the season starting, because so much more is going to be going on. Thank you, Russell, for joining me so much. I'm so glad I was able to get you on here. And I'll definitely want you back sometime soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see y'all in the next video.